Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to this channel, before I go any further, make sure you click the subscribe button below and click the bell icon as well so you can get notifications every time I post. In last week's video, I spoke about how to list your property on the market. Now, as you can tell from the title of this video, I have successfully let out my property. For those of you who are new to the channel, I'm a property investor. I recently bought a 2-bed buy-to-let property. I listed it on the market and within a week, I had a tenant. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about vetting tenants because it's all very well and good having a tenant in your property, but you want to make sure you've got the right tenant. You want to make sure that you have a tenant with whom you can create and nurture a good landlord and tenant relationship and that they're going to stay there on a long-term basis. So without further ado, let's get into it. In my opinion, there are 3 stages to vetting a tenant: before the viewing, during the viewing, and after the viewing. Before the viewing, you want to make sure that you get the prospective tenant's contact details. Get their mobile number or get their landline because you want to have a phone conversation with them prior to arranging a viewing. Okay, this phone conversation is primarily for you to determine whether the tenant has understood the fundamentals of your listing. Do they understand the fact that you don't want pets? Do they understand that you're not looking for students? Have they got enough money for the deposit that you've requested? You know, questions such as those. You want to tease out little bits of information from them prior to booking a viewing. That way you're not wasting their time or your time. The second stage is during the viewing. You've had a conversation with the prospective tenant on the phone, they seem viable, so you've invited them to come and view your property. Now during the viewing, that's where you've got to ask a few more questions. Don't be afraid to probe a bit deeper because at the end of the day, it's your property, so you want to make sure you're getting the right tenant for you. You want to ask them questions such as, why are they moving? Are they being kicked out by their current landlord? Is there a story behind the reason they're moving? What do they do for a living? You know, can they afford to pay the rent that you're asking for? Are they happy for you to run a credit check with them? The credit check will tell you if they're financially stable and able to pay your rent. You want to find out if they can provide you with an employer's reference and a previous landlord's reference. The reason why I'm saying the previous landlord is because if you ask for a current landlord's reference, they might give the tenant a good reference just to kick them out of the property. You know, a previous landlord will be a bit more honest and will actually tell you the truth about the prospective tenant and their behaviour. Finally, after the viewing. Okay, so you've seen the tenant, they've liked the property, you've liked them. Make sure you follow up on the references that they've given you, the employer's reference, the landlord's reference. Do a credit check. You don't want to let your property out to a tenant that's only going to cause you a hell of a lot of issues. Now, despite all of this advice, you will come across some time wasters. You're going to get people who will book a viewing and not turn up, who will book a viewing, seem very good, and then drop off the face of the earth. You know, you're gonna get people who will give you a sob story and tell you all these things about them to try and tug at your heartstrings to get you to let your property to them. But don't be fooled. Make sure you are vigilant, be persistent, do all the necessary checks that you need to do in order to make sure that the tenant is right for you and for your property. Unfortunately, that is it for this video. I hope you found it useful. If you did, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for new content every Sunday. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.